Let's talk about forms in WordPress. You see here 4 logos for 4 different forms plugins. There are dozens more. And honestly, they're all pretty good. This video is not about which one you should use, but rather how they work generally. On this page, the only one that doesn't have a free version is Gravity Forms. And Gravity Forms is pretty amazing, so don't hesitate to pay for it if you decide to go that route. What we're going to look at is the general process of how forms work. Let's look at the form building process. The first thing you want to do is create the form. Every one of the plugins has a button to create a new form. You click that. Then you add fields, a name, email, phone, whatever. Then you need to configure the actions. What happens when someone submits the form? You probably want a thanks page, something that appears that says, "Thank you for filling out our form." And then you probably want to email the form results somewhere, maybe to you. You may optionally also want to send an email to the person who submitted the form. That's totally up to you. Now I'm going to walk you through this process using formidable forms. Again, I'm not here to tell you which one to use. I just happen to like formidable. The others are also great. So I'm here on the admin area for it, and I'm on the Forms Lite. So this is the free version. And in the top right, we have Add New. And they have many options for pre-set up forms, but for me, the easiest is to create a blank form. And there we are. And right here it says, start building your form. Drag and drop fields from the left, or click a field to add it. I don't like drag and drop, so I'm just going to click. So you may want a field for a person's name. Now you can use a text field, but Formidable has a name field type. So I'm just going to click it. And there we are. And it has a first name and last name. That's it. I'm done with that field. So now I'm going to add an email one, a phone, and then a big comments box. And now I'm going to click save. And it wants a name for my form. I'm going to call this inbound marketing because I'm going to use this form for people to let me know that they'd like to hire me. In Formidable and every other Forms plugin I've used, this title could appear on the front end or not, depending on your choice. There, now I've added fields to my form. The next step is to configure actions. In most Forms plugins, there's a Settings tab, and we'll click that. And then on the left here, Actions and Notifications. And by default, Formidable has a thanks page and sends an email. Most Forms plugins are also going to do the same. So I'm going to click here to open it, and you can choose to show a message, redirect to a different page, or show the contents of a page that exists on your site. I'm just going to leave it to show a message, and it says, "Your responses were successfully submitted. Thank you." Now, you may want to change this on any Forms plugin because this is the default. And anyone who uses WordPress regularly will see this and go, oh, they didn't even bother to change the default message. So just type something in nice here. Then for email, there are options like triggers, email styles, etc. But the important stuff is normal email stuff. Who are you sending it to? Who's it from? What's your subject? And the message. Now, you could leave this just the way it is, and it will send to, the default mail for Formidable is the site owner. If that's you, great. The from, for most plugins, you can have it be from a field. So I'm going to take this out right here, and over here, click email. And we'll take this out and click name. So now it's going to come from the name and email that was put into the form. For subject, no matter what plugin you use, I recommend you put in something that lets you know just from the subject line what this email is about. So I would write and then include the name. Then when you're looking at a list of emails in your inbox, you can see the difference, and you can just look at the subject lines to see who they're from. And then we hit update. Now, there is one more step, And that is to put this on a page. So I'm going to go to Pages, Add Page, and I'll just call it Hire Me for now. And then in the WordPress editor, nearly every Forms plugin has their own block. So I'm going to click this little plus, and I'm going to type form, and I'm using Formidable Forms. My theme has a form type. WordPress has a form type. So there are lots of options here. I'm going to choose Formidable Forms, and I'm going to choose the inbound marketing form, and there it is. Hit publish, and we will view it on the page. And there we are. So to review, you create the form, you add fields and configure actions, and I left a bullet point off. You put it on a page. And again, there are lots of Forms plugins, and they're almost universally good. The key is to find the one that fits you, the one you enjoy using that does what you need. As always, be sure to leave questions and comments in the comment section below.